So on the day one, we covered list. So list is one of the data structure. It can hold multiple data types. It is mutable. You cannot delete or add any particular item to it. And it starts and ends with square brackets. Okay. So let's say this is some list. Let me give it some name. Okay, let me give it name A. And let it be cricket or football, tennis. It can hold other data types as well, 1, 2, 3, or 4.0. True. So this is the list, and if I want multiple outputs from a Jupyter cell, I need to run this. Let me just search the code for that. So by default, Python just gives the output of the last Jupyter cell, last row in the Jupyter cell. So I'll just paste this particular part in here. Okay, now let me just write some basic commands like type of it, then let me append something to it, let's say false. Okay, so there are total 8 elements in it, total 8. Then the type is list, and I have appended an item to it, an element to it. So it has become like this. If I'll take out its length again, it will give me something like this. Length will be around 9. If I want to do a dot upper, it will show some kind of an error. So if I do like this, 0 till let's say 3. Okay, so ideally it should work. Okay, I can do like this. So upper is more for an particular string attribute. So let me do like this for a in 0 till these 3, right? So 0 till 2, 0, 1, and for to access this one, I'll just do it like this. For it should basically print it first, and then it should print a dot upper. Okay, so for only for these string elements, I'll just make them to upper string. Okay, so yeah, so I have done for I in this, right? So I'll have to give I here. So yeah, it will print something like this: cricket, then uppercase cricket, football, uppercase football, similarly tennis and uppercase tennis. All right. Okay. So yeah, these are basic functionalities of it. And if I want to make it, if I want to just check the different properties, you have different properties like extend, insert, pop, reverse, something like this. So if I just reverse it, then everything got reversed. All the elements of it, they just got reversed, right? Okay. So yeah, this is your list, and your list is basically mutable. You can add some elements to it, and then you can figure out. You can basically it basically starts with square brackets. You can access the elements with indexes. So this is your regular list, and list is used during a lot of times in day-to-day operations. And it can hold multiple data types, like you see Boolean here, then float, then integer, and then strings. Now let's say if you are taking a tuple, so let me create a tuple here. So to create a tuple, let me just do this, and let me give it some string data type as well, like something like this. So To make it a tuple, I'll just start and end with regular parenthesis. Now if I try to take out its type, it will show me tuple. I can take out again its length, and let me try to check its properties. So you can check out its index or something, but you cannot. A tuple is basically immutable. You cannot add any elements to it. The reason is that there might be some methods, right? In some methods in which particularly require only a specific set of arguments. Let's say that if you're importing an Excel sheet into Python, and it can hold only rows, comma, columns, right? Its dimensions. So to hold that into a specific, to hold those dimensions, you just need two arguments, and you don't want those arguments to be changed. So in those kind of cases, you can just save those values in a tuple, right? So yeah, this is tuple. Now let's say if I want to create a dictionary. Okay. Okay, before dictionary, let's try to see this string here. So let's say this is in a string C. And I just write it as Rick and Morty. This is some TV series. Now, if I just want to assess the elements of it in a reverse manner, let me take it in a normal manner. These are the indexes. It's starting from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 5 it will go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements. Now, if I want to access it in a negative way, then I can go in a reverse order. So it will go like -1 till -4. So it'll start from here. Sorry, it'll basically start from here like this, -4 till -1. So it'll start somewhere from here, ORT, -4, -3, -2, and -1. -1 it will basically not include. Okay. So this is your basic operations around string. You can also replace a particular item. So let's say if I want to replace Morty with blank, so it will print something like this. It has just replaced Morty with blank value. Okay. If I want to find and in this, so this is again a property. Its value is showing at 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th index. At this particular point, it is showing its value. So these are some operations around strings. All right, and then you have Boolean. So let's say this is value of X and this value of 6. And if you are doing X equal to Y, it will give me false. Okay, X greater than Y, it will give me false, and X less than Y, it will give me true, because X is less than Y. So these are just Booleans. Booleans are also treated as ones and zeros in Python. So let's say if you have a list, and let me just write it as some name as Boolean list or something. Let me just give it values like true, false, true. Okay, and if I just sum this up, or let me sum it in this way. This is item at 0 index, item at first index, and similarly item at second index. If I just sum them up, I'll get 2. 1 plus 1, 2. This will be treated as 0, so you won't get any sum of it. Okay, let me just check if we can do it in this way as well. So yeah, you can sum a list by giving sum in the starting, and you can get the total value of it. Okay, so yeah, this is strings and booleans, and we saw list and tuple. So I hope you understood that. Now let's look at dictionary. So let me just copy paste this particular part from here till here. or let me just create a new one. Let me just write it as sports dictionary. So dictionary starts and ends with curly brackets, and this is cricket, and this is its key, this is its value, separated by commas. And then we have tennis, and let's say we have football, let's say 4. So 1, 2, and 4 are basically its values. So if you want to define a kind of, your requirement is such that you need to define a set of keys and corresponding to them some set of values you need to give. Like let's say if you want to give certain information for specific countries, so you will give the countries as keys and you will give those values as those values. Okay. So if I print it, it will give me something like this. These are its properties. Different properties like clear, copy, get, items, and etc. So if I want to get the keys, it will give something like this. These are my keys, and similarly I can get the values also. So yeah, these are your dictionaries, and you can add items to your dictionary. You can add items and keys and values to your dictionary. Similarly how keys are there, right? You have sets also. So let me define a set. It also starts with curly brackets. Okay, dictionary does not have repetitive values. Values can be repetitive. Values can be repetitive. You can have two, 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 but the keys cannot be repetitive. Keys have to be unique. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is your sports set, and in your sports set, let's say you have different set of values like cricket, and you have tennis, you have, let's say, snooker. Okay. So this is your set, and here the operations of union and intersection are applicable on sets. So let's say that um, let me create one more set, which is something like this. Uh, Let me give it some different name like football. Okay, football, comma, squash. So now if I want to do sports set dot, let me look at some things there are like you have union, you have date as well. So if I do union, and if I want to check its property, I can check that, like how we can do it. It returns the union of a set such as a new set. So if I give the other one here, right? So it will just keep a union like how we do it in mathematics, and it will just combine both of these sets. So sets are unordered, unindexed, and they're not that much used, but for specific purposes, you can probably use them. So these are the basic concepts which were covered: list, tuple, then dictionary, set. Suddenly you have operators. So let's look at operators quickly. You have different types of operators like arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical ones. So they're like arithmetic operators, they're like addition, subtraction. This is for floor division, this like normal division. So let me show this one to you quickly. So if you're doing 4/3, okay, it'll give you 1.333. But if you do something like this, it'll give you 1. So it's like a floor division or integer division also. You can say that it will return you an integer value. This one is returning you like decimal values. You can round it off as well using the round function, round method. Okay, it will round it completely, or you can round to 2 decimal places. Okay, cool. Then this is for exponentiation. Then you have assignment operators. So let's say if you're using x plus equal to 3, it is basically equal to x plus 3. Similarly, x minus equal to 3 is equal to this. So let's take an example of this. You have x equal to 3. Let's put x equal to 56. And if you're doing x plus equal to 1, okay. So if I run this and I print out x again, it will be 57. Okay. So what does it means is x is equal to x plus 1. This is the meaning of x plus equal to 1. This or these both of these are like exactly similar, exactly same basically. Okay, let me just add few more cells and move forward here. So yeah, this is how you can do it. Comparison operators, search for equal to, you use this. For not equal, you're using something like this. Then you have basic logical operators, or is not, something like this. Byte wise, it's not that much important, but yeah, you can look into it. Cool. So this is your, yeah, now this is list, tuple, dictionary set is covered, operators, strings. Let's look at just some random exercise from here. Let's say this one, or let's say for this one, strings. Age equal to 36. Text is this. Insert the correct syntax to add a placeholder for the age parameter. Okay. So here you will have to write basically this basic square, basically curly brackets, and here what you're doing is you're just printing it. Okay. So let's try to trick it in our notebook and let's try to understand this particular part. Okay. So let me just comment this part out for now. This age equal to 36 and it's saying my name is this and I am this curly bracket we are using. Now why we use this is we cannot directly use this number here inside. We want to keep it as an option. So if I just try to print this, it'll just print out this. Okay. But if I print it like this, it'll print out like this. But if I want to give this curly bracket some value, I can just use format, and inside this will be representative of that format. Inside this I can give anything, like let's say 23 I'm giving, it will return 23. Okay. So this is how you can do it. I mean, this is how you can assign a static variable to it. Now the statement below would print a Boolean value, which one? Now if you are taking a Boolean of this, for most of it is just checking whether it is true or false. So just for this, it should just give it as true. Okay, sorry, it's giving as false. That's my bad. But yeah, what I want to tell is for most of the values, your Boolean will return as true. Like all of these values, your Boolean will return true. Some values are false, like for false, it will return as false, and this. Boolean is mainly used for checking the conditions of equality, true or false. Just 1 minute. Dick. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, most of the time it will return true values. Otherwise, for these all of these, like 0 or none, it will return false values. Okay. Cool. So yeah, this is your basic operators and strings and booleans. Then you have lambda function. So lambda function is a little bit it's a little bit, I mean, see, it's an anonymous function. That is the first thing to understand. Second is that why do we use it? It has it is used when you're just defining like a single expression function or like a few lines of functions. I mean, you're not defining a long function and you're not defining a function which you're going to use multiple times. You're just going to use it there itself. So let's say here we have defined this. Okay. So let me just take it in the notebook. Let me just add a few cells. Yeah, let me just take it here. So x is equal to lambda a comma b equal to a into b. This is how I'm defining it. So let me first define it. So here it got defined, and then if I'm just trying to check its type, then it's like a function. Okay, and when I'm calling it, it's giving me multiplication of these two. So here you're just giving whatever arguments are there. Okay, this is your lambda function. These are arguments. So this is whatever expression you want. I can just make it as some kind of a floor also. And if I'll make it 30 divided by 6, or let's say 32 divided by 6, and since I'm using a floor division, it will give me integer value. Okay, so give me 5. 6 5s are 30, and since I use double slash, it will give something like this. Okay, or I can do something like this. I can give 3 different arguments to it, and here I can write 3 comma 6 comma 4. So it will just add these 3. Now I can do the same thing using a named function. Let me call it summation, and let me give me a comma b comma c. And what this function does is it just prints a comma b comma c. Okay, so if I just run this function, and if I call this function, the only difference between your lambda and this one is that here you can add multiple lines of code, a longer defined function as well. While in lambda, if you quickly want just a few lines of code, right, then you can use it for that. So if I just run this part, and if I just call these 3, like 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, sorry, it is just printing it up, right? I just have to add them. So yeah, it will just sum them up. So only difference is that here the name is given. How lambda is different from def function? Dead, do you mean def only, right? You don't mean dd? Is dd? Okay, cool. So yeah, the only difference is that here you are just you can write multiple lines of code in this one. Here mostly it is just one expression, and you want to quickly apply it on a, let's say, a data frame or a list or something. Then you would go for a lambda function, and it's anonymous function. You don't have to, like, I have not given a name here to it. Okay, so yeah.